friends of ours, and they have been childhood friends of ours, despite the fact that Eileen and I first met them about 4 years ago in Sarasota. It's a bit of a stretch to think of them as childhood friends, having met them so recently, but that's how it feels, and it's perhaps the way of Sarasota. We bonded immediately, and it felt as if we had shared not only our obsession with movies, our culinary taste, our political concerns, our interest in literature, but our inclination to explore personal feelings that we each held for over 60 years. The most potent glue, however, was probably an appreciation for and generation of humor and playfulness, even in situations that seemed to stretch the bounds a bit, as I am presently demonstrating, and as Eli, given his generosity of spirit, hopefully will forgive. The most comfortable setting we shared was Harriet and Eli's van, which transported us and Eli's motorized wheelchair to and from Sarasota's events. Harriet appreciated that though I am not a sports enthusiast, and I am non-macho in most things, Eileen, in fact, beats me at everything except I beat her on very rare occasions of provocation. I have a positive tropism for chauffeuring. Harriet transformed me into an instant automotive engineer by teaching me how to work the controls of their van, and especially how to load and unload Eli's motorized wheelchair. Given that privilege, I drove and Eli sat in the passenger seat, with Harriet and Eileen happily ensconced in the rear seat. So much for macho disclaimers. Though Eli and I thought they were oblivious to our front seat conversation, our naivete was periodically corrected when Eileen or Harriet informed us of our inaccuracy with regard to year, plot, or names of the actors who appeared in an earlier version of a movie we were discussing. This slight intrusion appeared most frequently when Eli and I were trying to make sense out of some sexual innuendo in the movie. We all will miss the conversation with my dear front seat partner, who found a number of ways to distract me from allowing the driving to consume too much of my attention. It usually did not take more than 5 seconds for Eli, out of the blue, to blurt out questions like, "So, what new directions has philosophy taken in the past few years?" From there, it became nonlinear in a way that would appeal to any ADD-ophile like me. I miss these conversations. I miss the fact that I never got around to collaborate with Eli on writing projects like the psychoanalytic roots of mathematicians' interest in very large and perhaps engorged numbers. I have a very brief poem, and I'll be over it. I'll say it if it's taking too long to spell like this, and I'll say it fast. It's very brief. You won't feel the thing. Many of you recall Eli with his white mask and his wheelchair, trying to get very quickly from one place to the next. The white masked bandit, it's called Eli Abstract. The white masked bandit came barreling down, ignoring competing traffic. As I leapt to give birth to protect my own crown, he stopped short with enormous affect. In a gesture quite neat, I was pulled to his seat as he revved up his way with a great deal to say. Then he shifted terrain in less than infinite, towards thoughts that were a bit foggish. He opened my mind, washed out what was in it, the space that became dialogish. Thank you very much. Eli will forgive me, I'm sure.